Hey guys, welcome to episode 30 of the Babble podcast. I'm joined again by Dan.
What's up?
Jeremy.
Yo.
And as usual, I'm Julian. For those of you who haven't listened before, we're going to cover the last 2 weeks worth of news, and then, which for this week pretty much means Captain America, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and somehow, as usual, there's always some Star Wars news, so we'll start with that.
There's Star Wars news again?
There's always Star Wars news. The first one being Peter Mayhew is back as Chewbacca for episode 7. He's the same guy who...
I think we shouldn't even mention these little things.
Well, it's like... Is he really even playing Chewbacca? Exactly. Like, he's just the guy in the suit, you know, right?
And he's 7-foot tall person. I mean, I know there aren't a lot of them, but it's not like...
The little news tidbits like that, we should have like a roundup every...
Well, yeah, like
3 weeks or something.
So what I did with this week differently, because I'm trying to, like, condense things a little bit, all the casting news, I just popped it all into the same place. I'm just going to read it off and then move on.
Yeah, that works.
But the big Star Wars news, though, is that it's actually starting filming Episode 7. None of the main cast have been set yet.
That's odd.
Yeah, it is a little odd.
I find that odd.
You turn off the clicking on your phone. If you're going to text during the show, at least turn off the clicking.
Turn my phone off, too.
Well, what's your ringtone?
Yeah, what is your ringtone?
Last one or something?
Landsmart.
It probably is, though, right?
No, I don't...
Is he the one that says Mudslide or whatever that song is?
Landslide is the Dixie Chicks.
You just knew what he meant.
So it is then? That's what it is?
No, it's not. This is just the regular.
Okay.
Beep, 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 whatever the...
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Whatever the regular iPhone one is.
That sounds like R2-D2.
It just gets worse.
It's way too long.
Maybe I don't know it. What is it?
No, just don't worry about it. Not important.
That sounds like the GameCube startup menu.
And if you hold different buttons, it would make different versions, like the quacking one. Is there a quacking one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, and there's another one I saw.
That's it.
Oh, that one.
There's
another one in like GameSpot. They do those like, game trailers.
Yeah.
They do those like cool segments where they find like
secrets about
secrets, and they find like another one where like all 4 have to be in and like.
Yeah, it's so weird that it's like you have to hold all. How do you even find that?
Yeah, exactly.
Other than what else do we have for Star Wars? Oh, so before Star Wars Rebels, the show that's going to take place between episodes 3. Turn off the clicking. just second. How hard is it?
Goddamn minute.
Well, we'll just pretend like you're not here. And anyway, so the show before it was a show before Rebels existed. It takes place between 3 and 4. There's going to be a live action Star Wars show. Remember you guys hearing about that for a while? So anyway, the guy who is one of the writers, Ronald D. Moore, who is from Battlestar Galactica.
Awesome. He
came out and said stuff about that show, saying, quote, that he apparently got into an argument with Lucas about, quote, about what Darth Vader would or would not do, and part of my brain kind of went, what the hell am I doing? Are you actually arguing with George Lucas about what Vader would do, right? And then, so when asked about who won the argument, he said, well, of course, George Lucas gets to win all the arguments. So, to me, that's like, exemplifies everything that's wrong with the prequels. Someone needs to be like, no, George, no, that's a bad idea. There shouldn't be... Gungans shouldn't even exist. That shouldn't, someone should have, stepped up at some point. Apparently, he had, veto power, obviously, because he invented it, but, that...
Well, it's his baby. He created it, so...
But he stepped off it now.
Yeah, now, because he did what he wanted to tell.
I guess he has been involved in pretty much, every Star Wars property. Oh, yeah. Even Clone Wars he was heavily involved in, so... And that didn't turn out too bad, right? No, I'm just kidding. It's pretty good. I need to I need to reference it at least once a show.
I watched those cartoon movies.
Those are pretty sweet.
Came before it.
Yeah.
And there's an insane amount of action in those ones.
Yeah,
it's
awesome.
Non-stop.
It's great.
Yeah.
So EA, speaking about their upcoming Star Wars games, reiterated that their games won't be directly based on the upcoming films, saying that they intend to follow the Arkham City model. Quote, Warner Bros. Did what did with Batman was to take the core roots of that IP and manifest that inside the walls of Gotham City and delivered an interactive experience that had real ties to what you would see in the films and what you had read in the comics, while having its own life because it would provide such deep and more immersive storylines. When we look at Star Wars properties, that's how we're looking at it. We're not trying to build a game that replicates the storyline of any particular film. So,
but they're also working on the game with no info of the movie too, which might not even be finalized.
So that's fine.
No, so I'm saying they can't
Well, yeah,
really do anything anyways about that.
They couldn't if they wanted.
They would have to make the game, and then the movie would come out. They get all the info or whatever. Then they'd have to change it,
Well,
they did with Wolverine, X-Men Origins, because that was supposed to be
its own
Wolverine game. That's why it was actually really good to people.
Mm-hmm.
And then they
added in those helicopter parts.
They shoehorned in the movie characters and whatnot.
There's nothing. Some of those like movie tie-in games were some of the worst games. Like, remember that Iron Man game? That sucked.
They're all
like,
terrible, but like
some of them are good though.
But when you're into the hype of the movie, it doesn't matter.
Remember when you platinum?
Yeah, I had a great time playing that. Like every now and then, I was like, this game sucks. But like,
the whole time you're playing, man, this game sucks.
Yeah. But I never played the Thor game or the Cap game because apparently those were like.
Even worse. There was a Cap game? I thought it was Iron Man, then they did Thor, and that was it.
Captain America, yeah, there was.
Oh yeah, I remember that now. You could do like it was kind of like what's the one where you could go backwards in time with the sand?
Prince of Persia.
It was kind of like Prince of Persia with Captain America, but it didn't turn out well.
Well, all like Thor, Cap, Green Lantern, they should all be great video games. Just they
easily.
make them in a small time constraint.
Okay. I don't want to get too far ahead because we're going to talk about Cap 2 like for a bit, but the whole time I was watching that movie, I was thinking, how sick would it be if you had like Arkham City style combat with Cap? Yeah. Like you're throwing the shield, like all of it works, like the whole
and like
counters and all that
thing too.
Yeah,
a little bit.
You could make that would be an amazing game. I don't think anyone's working on that kind of is anyone even working on a Marvel Properties video game? It's all like
I'm sure there are.
It's all like those like
they should all take a hit from Batman, but
well, it seems like every game takes a hint from Batman. We always have the Star Wars thing. There's another one here that LucasArts apparently had canceled the Darth Maul game that was supposed to come out, I guess, around now. It was canceled in 2011. Yeah.
And also, Thor and Cap, they both had video games. Then they had sequels and no video games. So those probably didn't sell well, so they didn't even care.
Well, I mean, if you don't make a good game, no one will buy it.
So I'm saying like they think, they don't want to buy it, whatever, but they're not buying it because it's not good.
Yeah. So it's like a circle of death.
It's just circle.
A circle of death.
Circle of death. Okay.
So anyway, like I said, there's that Darth Maul game that was canceled, and it was also inspired by Arkham Asylum. It was supposed to be.
That would have been awesome.
The idea was that like you would be super powerful and super like deadly, but if you could get like one or two hits, would take you out. Kind of like real life a Jedi would one or hit once or twice, they're dead.
Yeah.
But it's really hard to do that, right? But no, that's canceled.
Also, the use of the Force in that TV show, with the cartoon or whatever, and the movies is crazy. Like they use it way more.
And then you're talking about the animated ones before the Clone Wars.
Like they're using it nonstop in battles. Like it's like almost like a battle of wits. Like who's gonna use?
There's
it
that
first.
Mace Windu fight with
that one and that
Grievous
chick and the chick too.
Yeah, what's her name? She's in the Clone Wars too. The white one.
Yeah,
Ventress.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's all the Star Wars. I know you guys like it. It seems like there's always some sort of Star Wars news.
There always is, but it's hardly ever.
No, it's like every 2 weeks. It's like this guy is coming back. This voice actor is coming back, or like this. Like it's just.
Well, this is the only confirmed casting. It was Peter Mayhew as Chewbacca. In fact, over 2 weeks there wasn't a single casting rumor about who's going to take on an official lead role, and they've started filming without any lead roles filled yet. So what does that mean? Yeah,
but Harrison Ford has talked and said he's coming back and all this stuff, so it's not official, but he's talking, so whatever.
I guess...
Chewbacca? All we need is that sound, which everyone can do.
No, I can't do that sound. Let me see.
Dan, do the sound.
How did you do that? That was really good. How'd you do that?
See? Told you.
Can you do that?
I'm not going to do
it. Okay, well,
I can, but I'm not going to do it.
Okay, so let's just, stop beating around the bush. The elephant in the room. Cap 2 came out this last weekend.
Is this the final news story? Or?
No. We're going to do other stuff after, but I want to get into this right away. Because I don't want
The Winter Soldier.
Yeah, Captain America, The Winter Soldier. So it came out on Friday, so Thursday night. And it
came out on Thursday, I think, too.
Thursday night, the midnight release. But they moved the midnight releases back to 8.
Yeah, there was
nothing
like
earlier
3
than
showings. There was like 8, 9, and 10.
Because they have 3 different theaters. But anyway, over the 10 days it's been out internationally, it's made $303.3 million. And 96.2 domestic over the 3 days. That's the April debut record for most in April, and beats Fast 5. which had their...
And its one day was 90 something.
Which is insane. That's a lot of that's a lot of money. So obviously it has a lot of impact on the Marvel Cinematic Universe as a whole, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but before we get to that, what did you guys think of just the movie itself?
Spectacular.
Yeah, almost perfect.
Yeah.
No criticisms?
I barely had any. I was enthralled.
I enjoyed the whole thing. Like a couple minor. It felt like they kind of rushed actually explaining the Winter Soldier. They just showed him in that little chair and then it was done. Not a huge deal.
I agree with that.
Yeah, that's true. Actually,
but when I think
all you need to know is that it's Bucky Barnes and he was brainwashed.
Yeah, and also because they didn't really resolve anything, it'll probably be more in depth. It'll be done more in depth later on whenever Bucky does figure out.
And they were dealing with each other and how he kind of knew him and he didn't want to hurt him and stuff.
The
flashback scene was pretty cool. You got the old-looking Steve Rogers or the younger-looking small Steve Rogers again, which is cool to see that again.
Yeah, no, that was
see the transformation.
It's cool. It's like they must have done that all CGI then, right?
Oh yeah, that's all CGI.
Yeah. Because even the last one was CGI.
I think they get like a dude, like a child actor,
and they put his face on it.
Kind of put their face on there.
Other than that, though, it was
awesome. Non-stop action,
like, crazy action. Yeah.
So I was saying to Dan yesterday that I'm tossed whether it's my favorite Marvel movie or my second favorite. It's either Avengers or this one, and they're essentially neck and neck.
Yeah. So, I'd still go with Avengers just because it was like you never thought that could ever happen, kind of thing.
Yeah, all that's true. But the movie itself,
taking that aside, I think we have to give time.
Yeah, that's true.
Give it time. I need to see the Cap.
You gotta again. Yeah, you gotta give it time. But this one, I'd say Thor 2, I didn't really care while I was watching it at all.
That's true.
Iron Man 3, I didn't care that much either. But this one felt like it should be an Avengers movie. Mm-hmm. But Iron Man wasn't there, and Hulk there, and Thor wasn't there.
People have brought this up, why this kind of event seems like something the Avengers would probably want to know about. But when I think about it, I've watched it now twice, from when he finds out what's going on to the climax is only 24 hours of real life time, and he's essentially out of contact the whole time. So,
but there were moments where when Fury's getting attacked when he's in this cool ass car or whatever. I was like, he should just call up Iron Man right now because he'd be able to fly there no problem. Right? Or Thor even, right?
I guess you don't really have time. Iron Man is probably in.
And also, it doesn't
New York.
say when exactly it takes place. If Iron Man's even around or not, it could be dealing.
Well, my only problem too is that stupid device. Is it like a teleportation device?
No, that.
Or is he cutting a hole into the ground?
Yes, it's okay. So
there's no way he's cutting a hole.
That
in
was
the
the number one complaint that I've heard most was this MacGuffin thing where it's people could just. Escape from any situation.
It's teleportation.
No, it's not with that. It's not that. What it is essentially, it's you know how those people died. Again, spoilers, obviously.
Fucking deal with it.
So you know how those people die at the end when they have those clips on.
Yeah.
And they melt or whatever.
It's like a thermite welding.
Yeah. So it's it just melts the ground.
So you're telling me he melted the ground and he jumped into a hole?
Yes.
The Winter Soldier he threw the car away or whatever. He would have jumped down the hole and killed him.
But he didn't.
Yeah. So that mission failed.
Wait, what happened in the
He got away, I guess.
What happened?
He's done that a couple times.
So he dug a hole where? To China and then...
No, not to China.
That's the other thing. The technology's not really explained, because if it's just going and digging a hole, what stops
it's
it?
It's
where he wants it to stop.
What you're saying,
time, maybe?
And what you're saying, it's a lightsaber where you cut a hole, you know what I mean? In the wall or whatever. But he could just jump down there and fall away.
So, yeah, I guess, but maybe it happened fast enough that he got away.
No, it should just be a teleportation.
So that's
should never even fucking...
Well, it happens twice. It happens then, and it happens with Maria Hill. And that one bothers me because it goes through a car and into the ground, and they escape without knowing. But it was through the car that's still driving. It's so how does that work?
And Nick Fury is already smart enough. He could have figured out a different way than using that stupid device.
Yeah, so, and it's the fact that it's one thing it's used once. It's the fact that it's used twice that's really bad.
Well, what was the second time?
The second time, so Maria Hill is breaking them out of that truck. Remember, she takes off the helmet or whatever.
Yeah, that's so stupid.
And not only that, there's clearly a car behind it. How do you not see them going underneath the car?
Imagine the scene of all three of them climbing down the center of the earth. Where do they climb? They just slide down it.
And it's still hot on the sides too. It's melting.
Jeez.
But okay, if that's our biggest complaint though.
But as soon as it happened when you saw Nick Fury gone, I questioned it for a second, but then I was like, oh. He's not going to die or whatever, right? Because I thought that was the scene where he would die. Then he ended up dying in that.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's
cool.
He just stands up and boom, boom, boom.
It felt very Bourne Supremacy type thing, right? Conspiracy and...
A lot of this had a Bourne vibe to it. The combat, a lot of it. To me, the pacing of this movie was absolutely perfect. There was
I wasn't bored once.
There was not a single moment in this film where there's like a lull or like a time where you're like, is it over yet? Like you never want it to finish.
Like I could see there are times for other people, like when they're dressed up as like kids or whatever in the mall and like they're going to the Apple store, but like it's kind of funny. But like I want to know what they're.
It's also important. That thing. Yeah, like at that point you're like, okay, Nick Fury just died. There's a lot of like shit's going down, right? So.
And then, like, they spent a long time, basically, on Nick Fury dying. Like, you saw his body there. They talked a lot. Where they didn't really brush it aside where you know it was fake. Like, this one could have been real.
Yeah, they made it seem very significant.
Yeah.
They essentially did the scene as if he was dead for good. And that was the scene where he's dying. Like, and then, obviously, coming back, I think most comic book fans probably are like, he's probably not dead. Of course,
I
Nick
was
Fury
too.
doesn't die, but I mean, he can. He could, no?
Yeah, he could. Of course he could, but he just doesn't.
Yeah.
Like a decoy or something.
What was your favorite part? And just a simple question.
Honestly, the action was spectacular.
The action's great.
There was like the choreography. I've said as I was telling Jeremy in the car was just amazing.
Yeah.
The ship scene in the beginning.
That ship scene when he's fighting a Batroc, by the way, looks like a Mortal Kombat fight scene. The way it's even framed, it's like it looks as like a background. Just a still background, and it's like just two fighters and like two walls on each side.
Yeah. And as soon as he jumps out of that plane, like that whole scene is just incredible. He's running through, the camera's following. You see his super speed again, kind of thing.
Because he's like going so fast.
Yeah, and it's just so there's so much action. Like he's using the shield like nonstop.
It's not boring action. It's just dynamic, you know.
He never uses a gun once in this entire movie.
That's what it's all about. He did it in Avengers for a bit, but it was only like distraction bullets.
Yeah. And he did it in the first one.
Yeah.
In the first one, he had a gun, but it's not out of question to see Cap use a gun. It's just you don't see it often.
And they show how he doesn't need it when he takes down that Quinjet or whatever.
Yeah,
he like stabs it.
That was nuts.
That was insane. When he does like a backflip.
Then they cap it off. No pun intended. And he lands on the ground and you see the shield.
Yeah, that's sick.
Super sick.
Yeah.
And the suit looks badass. Like the
old school,
basically the ultimate.
The
shield,
the single, just the one star on it,
like the navy blue type thing, like super badass.
Like the effects were great. I don't think there's ever a time where I thought the effects were bad. The
helicarriers all look real.
I feel like we're all just a bunch of yes men right now saying how much we love this movie, but like we really like. I really liked it. I've seen it twice already. That's how much I liked it.
You saw it again?
I saw it once on Thursday night.
Yeah, I'm gonna go again with my girlfriend, but
like as far as the impact on let's talk about like the big reveal, right? So the impact on the MCU. Hydra's back, right?
Hydra's back and Shield's disbanded.
Yeah. Well, it's okay. Here's my question: is it Shield disbanded or is it just like in flux? Do we know like?
I think it'll be in flux. I think they'll weed everything out, bring it back. But they seem very adamant with like Widow and Cap. They
said like that's right. Was with that one scene with Fury with in that
Falcon, Widow, everything.
They're like no. It's like this isn't just fixing. Like it's getting rid of it.
Yeah.
I guess.
You guys were infiltrated this whole time. Like it all has to go.
Yeah. Okay. So, what do you guys think of the scene with like the computer person?
What's his name again?
The German guy.
Yeah, he's a good actor though.
Yeah.
I thought it was awesome. I was telling Dan, I thought it reminded me very much of straight out of like the cartoon, like Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Oh yeah.
Like, just it's very cheesy and corny, but like you have that mysterious music. You're getting all these details laid out in front of you.
It's essentially just a fancy like exposition scene.
Yeah, but it's like I can imagine like a little kid watching it and they'll be like, "Oh my god, this is so cool!" Like
and the way it's like playing those clips over top of what he's saying.
Like it's just so good. They're learning all these things. They're asking the questions. He's telling them.
Yeah.
All those like kind of clips of what's happening, like what happened.
Armin Zola.
Yeah. And then I just thought it was super sweet. Like super corny and cheesy.
At that point, the first time I watched it, I was like, I'm not exactly sure. Like at that point, I'm like, okay, I'm following what's going on, but I didn't realize. Like I was like, why was there what was the port of the ship? Like why was that there? Mm-hmm. And then second time watching it, I kind of attached everything together. Not that it was ever like convoluted as a plot, just that.
No, I don't think it was.
It was just. I think a couple pieces were just left hanging that.
Yeah,
when you look a little more closely, it connects itself.
Yeah.
So not only is Hydra back, it's been infiltrating Shield like for a while. Time, so that main villain, I guess, not Robert Redford, but like the assault team guy, or what's his name, the strike team leader. So he's actually a comic book character. Yeah, Skull and Crossbones, or just Crossbones.
He wears like a skeleton mask or whatever.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
That guy's a badass actor too.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That other guy too, that other security agent was pretty badass. But that whole, and we've all seen this before. Like we saw it ahead of time. Like that fight scene in the elevator was sweet. Yeah.
Very good.
As far as like fan call outs, like there's the Doctor Strange announcement. I like to when I maybe get a DVD or Blu-ray of it, I want to like slow down that scene where like they're picking out like all the
targets.
All the targets. There's there's got to be at least one right Easter egg in there.
Well, it would be posted online by now. I think people would.
Well, how? Like, how would you?
Because I mean, they were like flashy, quick, but like I guess they focused on Stark one the most. I would say Stark Tower.
That one of them? I didn't even see that.
You didn't see that one?
I didn't
was like
see that one.
Super prominent. You didn't see it either? That's, like they just showed his tower with a Stark sign. Like
really?
When they were like.
I didn't see it.
It wasn't like real time. It was like the 3D version, like the blue and white kind of thing.
Maria Hill was awesome.
Yeah.
So she's done with How I Met Your Mother, so that possibly frees her up for a larger role in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. As far as how this movie affects Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., have you guys been keeping up with it at all?
No. Well, I heard all about it, though. Like, there's going to be two
there's a back-to-back episodes
dealing with it.
So last week, before the film came out, there was a big cliffhanger, and you're like, what?
Is she in that show a lot, or?
She was in it for one episode. So was Nick Fury. He had a cameo for one.
And Sif or whatever.
Sif had a good episode as well. That was actually a really good episode.
I haven't seen that.
So the cliffhanger at the end of the last episode, like I don't want to ruin it, but you're like, this doesn't make any sense. How is this possible? Like this makes no sense. Having seen the movie, it makes perfect sense. Because I did even having seen that episode, you're like, there's no way you predicted what happens in in Cap 2. So coming out of that, I kind of want to see what the fallout is. But I like to maybe see, like, it's called Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. If S.H.I.E.L.D.'s not around, like, how's that work?
I think it's gonna come back.
Well, S.H.I.E.L.D.'s going to be a huge part of the Marvel Universe. It's not going to go away completely.
Remember towards the end where Cap's doing a whole speech or whatever about freedom and stuff and whatnot?
And then he was over the thing?
He says one thing about something, and then they close up on Maria Hill, which alluded to me about Civil War. I forget what the exact phrase was, but it's something about identity and protection and like freedom or whatever. Yeah. Like it was very subtle, but like she looked like she was thinking when they filmed her on purpose, right?
Okay. Yeah, I didn't notice that. That's a good catch. Yeah. That scene to me is one of my favorites. It pretty much encapsulates everything about Cap that makes this movie version of Cap so awesome. He's a like instant leader. People follow him without question, like not without question.
Chris Evans did really well.
Yeah, like he just exemplifies like what someone wants to look up to. Yeah. When you see that
after that speech when Falcon said like, did you have that written down or whatever?
Yeah, exactly. That was funny. And then then you have that guy. And he's like, you have Crossbones come in, like hold the gun to the guy's head. He's like, I'm not gonna do a captain's orders, right? I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Then Falcon's a great character too, I think.
I mean, he wasn't fleshed out a lot. He's probably, but like we'll see that coming.
A little bit.
We'll see that coming.
I think he was.
How
he retired from the army because his buddy died. Yeah. Then he sacrificed his time to go to those meetings and he's helping people.
No, I know. I mean. He's got the most basic amount of like character development you can ask for in a movie that's already has a bunch of characters.
But we don't really need any much more. Like, did we get a lot on War Machine and Don Cheadle?
No, I think we could probably use some more.
But I don't think you do. Like, they're just the sidekicks, basically.
I guess.
Yeah, you can't divert too much focus from the main story, you know.
Mm-hmm. So it's cool how they have a new sidekick kind of relationship too. Like, I think it's gonna be sweet.
I mean, like, I'm definitely excited for Cap 3, and I was gonna talk about this later, but. So we know that Cap 3 is going up against Batman vs. Superman in 2016, as of now. Can you turn off your phone at least?
But wait, the end of Cap 2 is basically, they're saying they're going to go after Bucky or whatever, right?
Yeah, he's got someone to find. Yeah,
when do we start? Like, so what's the timeline here? Like, Avengers 2 is coming up before. So what's gonna happen?
So maybe the movie. I don't think we've yet to see like a lot of flashbacks as far as like movies set out of sequence and like chronological order, but I think Guardians of the Galaxy I think is set around the same time as Avengers, the first one, I believe, like or right after. So it wouldn't be out of question to see that get moved back into chronologically, but that's
Cap 3
confusing.
would be between Avengers and Cap 2?
No, I don't think that would happen. I think something will happen. They'll pull him out of his mission or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something like that. Or the Winter Soldier might even be involved.
In what?
There's no way. That movie's already full of like chock full of
I think Winter Soldier won't be a part of Avengers at all.
No, I think he might be, and then he'll be a character that dies because we don't need him around forever.
You're not gonna introduce him in one movie, not develop him, and kill him in the next.
What do you mean developed? He's been developed. We know who he is.
Well, no, but like
he barely knows who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll find out maybe. Who knows?
I don't think like you said, and this is my big problem with the after the credits scene with Baron von Strucker and then the twins, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. It just seems like all this is leading up to Avengers 2, and it feels like that movie it's already crowded and it's just getting more inundated, and I don't know how everything.
I have faith. Listen,
it's gonna be
having seen this movie, I have utmost faith in what Marvel can do. So at this point, I have. I'm very optimistic. I mean, yes, it's a concern, but I'm not going to be like, you know what, this movie's a disaster. It looks like it's, it's off the rails or anything like that far as conjecture. I don't
know. It feels like that makes it seem like Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch are going to be a larger part than I had assumed of Avengers 2, because they're going to have to be freed if they become part of the Avengers, and a large part of the movie would have to be spent freeing them from Hydra and then making them part of the Avengers,
Okay, well...
So that's at least the first half of the movie.
How about this for just like a simple plot? First part of the movie, dealing with Hydra, different strongholds. They end up encountering twins, right? So Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. They fight them, right? Maybe they escape, maybe they get captured, whatever, right? Ultron thing happens. Bigger than all of them. Huge, big deal, right? They need their help. They help them. Maybe there's some sort of friction there while they're fighting Ultron, but then at the end, it all works itself out. Right?
I mean, I guess the Ultron thing is going to take over from the Hydra threat, and Hydra's still going to be there, just won't be as prominent.
I think what I really like thinking about Cap later, Cap 2, having watched it now twice, is that it creates like and even Captain America says I like to know who I'm fighting, right? It creates a villain. It's not just always like who's the next guy or there seems to be there could be an overarching nemesis to what the Avengers are doing. So Hydra's out there. It's not just one building somewhere that you can just destroy.
Yeah.
It's everywhere, right? Yeah. So having that as like a main villain is cool. I mean, you can see stuff like things come out of that, maybe Hydra's infiltrated other things, maybe they're in AIM, maybe, or whatever. There's a lot of different things you can do with Hydra as a villain that you couldn't have done when it was just the rogue science division of the Nazis.
Yep.
Even though I guess it still kind of is, but just more advanced.
They're much larger now, yeah.
What else do we have to say about Captain America 2? That pretty much covers it.
Go see the movie if you haven't. It's a great movie.
Yeah, it is. It's great. I mean, there's not a single part of that movie I didn't enjoy. I think we'll probably figure something out. I remember what it was going to be. So remember when we talked about when Thor 2 came out, that Captain America cameo? Mm-hmm. And we were talking about how that's cost as a one of his movies. So in an interview with IGN, Kevin Feige clarified that did not count as a movie against his contract, which means that he can still do Avengers 2, Cap 3, Avengers 3.
Perfect.
So that's good. Obviously, I think there's that one scene that everyone kind of points to where Winter Soldier gets his hands on the shield or whatever, and he's holding it like Captain America would. That kind of teases the fact that in the comics at least later on Bucky Barnes becomes Captain America. I would bet my bottom dollar that we're going to see that storyline play out at some point going forward. I don't think that... who's the guy who plays Winter Soldier?
I don't know
offhand. Anyway, I don't think he's as strong of an actor as Chris Evans is.
I disagree.
Well,
I think
we didn't really get to see much from him in this movie. He had like he only had like 5 lines.
I think he's a good actor though.
Anyway, like I said,
and I think they're lucky they got him back even too.
Well, I don't. How busy is he? What was the last movie you've seen him in? If we can't remember his name, he can't be doing that much right now.
We don't remember anyone's name, so
yeah, but that's why I depend on you guys for. So also in that same interview, actually not the same interview. There was something else that came up. But anyway, Marvel has movies planned apparently through 2028.
God damn.
There's a giant map in Kevin Feige's office that like has like a basic outline of how they want things to play out.
I would love to just take a glimpse of
what would you do? Just like what would you do to get a look at that like just be a fly on the wall in one of those conversations when they're planning out what movie's going to come out in 2024, you know?
God damn. How many phases is that?
Oh, well, if every phase is what, 3 years?
Something like that.
Oh, so we're in phase 2 now. Avengers came out 2 years ago. Avengers 3 comes out next year.
Yeah.
Avengers 2 comes out next year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 3-year phases. So he's counting.
It'd be like 4 or 5 phases.
Phase 5. And that, who knows how many TV shows will come up by then? Like how many other, the Defenders, how well they'll be
I'm
involved.
excited to see how this Netflix stuff goes next year.
Yeah, and we'll still, like I said a couple weeks, I guess 2 weeks ago, we should expect to see a lot of casting news coming out soon. A lot of that's going to be going into
at least Daredevil, yeah.
What else? Oh, so Marvel is considering a standalone Black Widow film. Obviously, Scarlett Johansson did a great job. I think one of the best we've seen of Black Widow of any of the movies, I think. Mm-hmm. Scarlett Johansson interview, it's something we talk about all the time. There's certainly a lot of material to mine. I could see her fitting into a great espionage story or something like that.
They talked about that before, doing like a Black Widow and Hawkeye kind of duo, covert ops.
I don't know. I don't think people like.
Did you notice that she was wearing an arrow?
Her necklace is an arrow. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't notice that. No.
Stupid.
You're stupid.
so quietly says it. She wanted to talk about female superheroes in general, saying, I think it would be exciting to be a part of a franchise or standalone film where the female superhero used those opportunities as more than moments to stop, pause, and look sexy, and actually have a lot of real depth to the story. Not that there's anything wrong with stop and looking sexy.
She does a great job of it.
There's that one scene where she knocks the guy out on the boat and then walks away. That's a good one right there. So there's... I guess kind of rumored, and then it was kind of clarified. But so Chris Evans says he's considering retiring after Cap. So after the 6 movies, he says he wants to direct. Quote: "If I'm acting at all, it'll be under a Marvel contract, or I'm going to be directing. I can't say myself acting strictly beyond what I'm contractually obligated to do." So.
But then he released the new interview where he said that wasn't really the case.
But if you say it, you probably meant it in some case, in some way, right? Like, I think you have to say that because you don't want every interview being about.
But interviews can also be spun a different way, right? So.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I mean, things can be taken out of context.
You can't just be like, "Oh, that guy lied." Like, you don't say that's not professional, right? Like,
no, that's true. So Avengers was almost rated R at some point. Feige said, when we submitted the Avengers, the first couple cuts came back from the MPAA as rating R.
That happened twice. Mostly everything, though.
Yeah, so apparently the main issue is Coulson's death scene. You can't have things being stabbed through people.
Oh, you can't see the impalements.
So apparently you can barely see it and it cuts away super fast in the version that we have now. Marvel Studios looks to bond when it comes to recasting characters because it's eventually going to happen, right? Think people are receptive to it. Different interpretations by different actors. Makes sense. I mean, there's been lots of Bonds. Not every Bond's been exactly the same. Yeah. Based on who's playing.
I just wanted them to get to Avengers 3 with the same cast. Yeah. Kind of a conclusion. Yeah. Little thing. And then.
Even then, you maybe see a character go away for a while.
Yeah, there'd be
and then come back, changes. And then come back, as a different actor. Sure, like we just saw a recasting from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And it's one thing to have going from season 3 right into season 4, episode 10 to episode 1, different person. It's a little jarring, and so.
It's super jarring for a movie. I would say.
So I'd say.
Imagine if everyone was recasted except for Thor or something. It would just be weird. You know?
Yeah. So, and like, especially considering Thor's one of those people that's probably going to end up getting recast, which is tough because how do you recast like that? Because that was so done so well.
They redo their contracts like in like good times too, like right when the movie's released and stuff, and the hype is up there, and they want to be a part of it, and they offer them huge amounts of money. So.
And how much did it make? $330 million. Like, pay the man. You know,
Avengers 2 is going to make way more.
It's only every time like it just more every time. Like every time, it's more and more and more. So I mean. DC, meanwhile, hasn't released a movie since last summer. Not releasing another one for 2 years. Like
I don't know. Man of Steel was pretty big still. It had a big opening, and then
it didn't do as well as they wanted it to. No.
This one will.
It's Batman, so
Batman,
of course
Superman
it will
destroy.
It has to be called Batman versus Superman. Okay, so what else do we have here? A bit of this is a little old, but. Marvel announced a docu-series, I don't know if that's a word, called Tales to Astonish. It'll examine real-world events and couple them with Marvel Comics storylines. So the first one will touch on Marvel Civil War and the NSA. So apparently the Superhero Registration Act was influenced by the Patriot Act because they came out, that happened around the same time. Yeah. There's a trailer for it. Go and watch it.
That's a cool concept.
It is. I don't know if this one, I think this one might be feel like a little ham-fisted, but we'll see. I'll hold my judgment until we see it, I guess, right? So moving on to DC stuff. There's a new scene from Son of Batman. The voice who's doing Batman did an interview with the guys who do like DC All Access. And he said that he's the same guy who did Justice League War, so he's the same. They're continuing him. Saying that there's only 2 iconic Bat voices in his mind. Kevin Conroy and Christian Bale. I guess Christian Bale for probably the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
But do you agree with that? I don't know if when you think of another Bat voice, I can't really think of anyone distinctive, right? As far as the voice. Mm-hmm. I like the fact that we talked about this before, that they're doing like a cohesive animated DC universe. So there's gonna be 2 like connected movies every year, and with 1 like non-connected movie. So this one continues from Justice League War. It's the Son of Batman, or Batman and Son. I'm not sure. It's either way. It's continuing on the same characters, same voices. So like that'll be good. I like the guy who did Batman.
Yeah, he did a good job.
I showed you guys the images of Gordon and Penguin from Gotham. There's been a whole bunch of those. I don't know.
They look like dudes.
David Goyer, writer of Man of Steel, did some stuff for Dark Knight. Would be interested in rebooting Green Lantern. Jeremy, I'm pretty sure you'd probably be interested in that. I don't know how much you like Goyer. Some people don't like him, so don't really care. Don't care. That's all you have to say.
Good. It's a good thing if he does it. If he reboots it, that means we get another Green Lantern movie. So
we're gonna see one regardless, and I'm gonna get to something about Green Lantern in a sec. So, if you guys been watching Arrow, which I know you haven't.
Why? What if I watched all the episodes?
Have you?
No.
Okay, well, anyway, so we just saw, the last episode was called Deathstroke. There was a great scene that had Deathstroke in his full regalia. Is that a word?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't use that word, though, but okay.
But I used it already, so. And he looks like it looked very similar to what you would look from, like, the Arkham games.
Yeah.
And he looks badass. So, played by Jeremy's absolute favorite actor of all time, Manny Bennett. So, speaking of Green Lantern, speaking to IGN again, The Rock had an interview about some movie he was doing, but they obviously asked him about that whole tweet on Instagram or whatever that it was. And so this is his quote. Here are the 3 qualities. The first quality we're looking for was that it had to be extremely complex and have a lot to go on. What that does for me as an actor and the studio is it gives us space that we can explore his complexities. The other was that the character we were looking to had to be well known but never brought to life. Then what that does again as an actor, it gives me a little bit of space, and we talked about personality. It just gives me a chance to put an imprint into his personality and set the tools that I could bring to the table and put a very unique twist on his personality, but still pay homage to who he is. The third thing, and most important, is that he had to be He had to be a, quote, badass motherfucker. Okay, and on a Superman level of power, where he could throw down in those 3 qualities. I'm happy we found that character. Right now, we're out to a lot of writers. So he's been talking with DC. They picked something. Something is happening. We just don't know.
It's so weird how it's not a bigger story though, because he's basically saying we found a character, and we're gonna write something, and it's happening. Like I'm a DC supervillain.
I wouldn't be surprised if DC was actively trying to bury the story for a little bit, because they want it to be a big story when they announce it, right?
And he seems more so like he should fit in the Marvel universe, but it's good that DC's getting him.
They need a little personality.
And it's like based off that information, John Stewart, right? Like
rumors were John Stewart and Captain Black Adam.
But like I don't think like that. Speaking about a complex character, I mean he's not really that complex.
Black Adam?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I think he is.
It's complex enough.
He could even be Shazam.
Yeah, no, I would be surprised if that was the case, though. I don't think he would be.
Because then you also have to think of Superman level powers. Where most people think Green Lantern isn't that. Like, but in my opinion, he is.
He's close enough, though.
Exactly. It's close enough. It's like there's very few characters that are Superman level powers.
And then why would he tweet and have the picture of John Stewart and everything? And
exactly, and then it's like
Superman. If that's too misleading, in my opinion, I think.
He's purposely trying to
purposely,
Okay, well that's possible.
He knows the nature of the business. You don't come out and say these
thing is though that Instagram thing happened so long ago, and then it was found later on, right? So. And then as you continue trying to spin it in like the wrong...
He'd be sick as Black Adam.
I think he would be
too. Yeah, he's perfect as Black Adam.
But then who do you cast as Shazam?
I hadn't even thought about that.
The Rock is Black Adam. His speeches and stuff.
Yeah. Who you cast as Shazam?
That's tougher.
He needs to be someone of equal physical... Like... The thing is with Shazam, like, it's such a different character. It's like, it's really just a kid in an adult's body, right? So how do you... It doesn't require the same level of I guess acting power, so you could do something similar by getting like a wrestler again, but like because he's really just like a body.
He just act a little more immature and more goofy, I guess you could say.
So, I mean, you could go that route. I would be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that actually.
Or you could do both.
That would. I don't know if that
would slightly change. The look of
it kind of makes sense, right? Because they're both technically the same character, right?
Yeah. From different times, though. They look... I guess they look similar enough,
with CG and aesthetics. Like it's... Whatever.
That I didn't even consider that.
Yeah, a lot of work.
Yeah, but so is making Superman fly. Mm-hmm. So I talked about the whole Cap 2 versus Batman versus Superman, but in light of how much money they made this week... and how great Cap 2 was, what movie do you go see? I mean, I think we already said we'd probably still go see Batman vs. Superman.
Yeah, and right now you're involved in the hype with Cap. So.
Yeah, I know, but it's still... I think, and then you talk about
Batman vs. Superman, hands down.
Yeah, well, sure. But you talk about, as far as business sense, I don't know if that's the answer that everyone else would give, right?
Yeah, it's tough, because I think in terms of general audiences, Marvel's been killing it for so long, it might draw enough. You're right, though. The name Batman and Superman now, they carry a lot of weight.
But now just so does Captain America, obviously.
I don't know if it's on the same level, though.
It's just hype right now, I think. That's all it is.
Either way, so DC has reiterated that they aren't backing off that date. And now Kevin Feige said, oh, great. His literally quote was, great, more the merrier.
The weirdest guy.
He always has these things like where he'll like in an interview say I think this is that or I think this is that, like how do you not know? You don't say I think.
It's like a subtle cockiness or whatever with that guy.
Which I think you need to have if you're in that position.
Yeah,
you have to have some confidence in what you're doing when you're making a Guardians of the Galaxy movie, you know. Yeah. So Jeremy, Dan,
yes,
Nintendo,
Julian,
there's a Nintendo Direct today. All about Super Smash Brothers.
Oh, I didn't watch it or hear about it.
3DS version out in the summer. This summer. Wii U out in the winter this year.
You guys both don't have 3DSs? Wow.
Or I don't have a Wii U, so I'll just buy a 3DS though for it.
What?
I'm leaving my Wii U at home. I don't know if I was going to take it. Because my sister and I split it, and I was going to...
Oh, it's too bad.
You're going to want that. You're going to want that back.
I am going to want that.
You even have a Wii U.
60 frames per second.
Yeah.
Locked. We'll support 3D on the 3DS. It won't be, so it'll have the stereoscopic 3D.
Which will be sweet.
So this is how the online works. Players will be able to play online with friends as well as other users in a handful of different multiplayer modes. Online players will, without friends, comes into distinct forms: for fun and for glory. So for fun only records wins in random stages, no final destination, with all items on. For glory is no items at all, with every match on final destination.
Sick.
Wins and losses are tracked.
That's awesome, but I wish there was a slight variation in between.
So there
probably will.
So the variation in between is if you're playing with friends, it's custom rules, custom stages.
Good. But I noticed, like, on IGN, whenever they talk about Smash Bros., they all hate items.
Yeah, all of them. And I like items.
Items that add a cool element, but they can be cheap, though.
But you don't get them in any other fighter. You know what I mean?
That's true.
It's sweet.
It is cool. I like it. I like using them. I like the extra strategy involved that you can throw something. And
I think you can get a Pokeball just as someone else can get a Pokeball. I mean,
there's always like a rush to get to it. And you have to think.
Yeah. I mean, obviously we turn off Smash Balls. We always turn off Smash Balls.
Yeah. The hammers.
We turn off the shrink mushroom. Although I don't know what to do that. We could probably leave that on.
Super cheap ones.
Yeah, like the hammer.
But
we turn
at
off.
the end of the day,
although that one they fixed because the hand thing. Although I feel like the head fell off more often than it didn't. In my mind, it has
the super hammer that you could float and.
You know, hold on. Why did the down sword beat the hammer?
No, it doesn't always.
You have to time because it is moving.
You have to time it so that you're hitting it after the hammer.
Yeah, but you're not timing it.
Yeah, you are. Of course, I guarantee you I am. I promise you.
No.
I guarantee fucking.
I don't think I've ever hit you with the hammer when you're doing
it's a random thing. You come down.
No,
it's gonna hit it or not.
You gotta know when to actually go down. For sure. For sure.
Yeah, you're pressing. Also, okay, the hammer's down this way. It's going so fast.
Next time we'll do it, and we'll get the hammer, and you can jump down, and we'll see what happens.
Do you know who you're talking to? Of course.
But at the end of the day, like I'm a fan of no items too because I feel like my skills in dodging and fighting is way better than a lot of people, especially you two. So that's where I win the most. I feel so.
Okay, fair enough. Either way, only I like that. There's like no final destination for the other ones. Like you can still plan final destination with items. Like I don't. So then we have some returning characters. Yeah, we never got to play anything else. So actually, no, it's not only it's Final Destination and Final Destination versions of other levels. So obviously things that
just
don't change.
Because sometimes the ones that change a lot, like those Metroid ones in Brawl and stuff.
You can't. No, it's like then you're just like you just fall like Jesus. Like
it's too easy to screw up.
Or the lava, we gotta hide in that like shield thing.
Yeah,
it's just like whatever. But
so Yoshi's back. It's been around since the very first Smash Brothers game. That's no surprise there. Yeah. Charizard is a playable character, a standalone playable character.
Which the modded version of Brawl, they just added that. I think all the Pokemon can be separately chosen.
Pokemon Greninja, I guess a new Pokemon, is another playable character. And no more character transformations. So now Zelda would turn into Sheik, Samus into Zero Suit Samus after the Final Smash. So each of those characters are now their own separate characters.
So they're both still there.
Yeah.
So Samus and a Zero Suit Samus?
So Samus, and then Zero Suit Samus, who is, because of how they did it before, she wasn't quite as strong as they'd like a full character to be. They need to make her a little bit stronger, so she has jet boots, which make her like a bit stronger. Okay. Which are high heels for some reason.
Nice.
And then Sheik has 2 new special moves as well. Obviously Down B would be one of them. I don't know what the other one would be. Probably with this Final Smash. And
Final Smashes are back too as well.
Yeah, that's true. Luigi has a new one. They
changed him, he uses vacuum, which is what I always thought it was supposed to be.
Yeah, well, the other one was really weird.
Yeah, it's the stupidest thing ever. Makes
He's like doing a weird dance.
We'll never know what it meant.
I don't know what was happening. How did you, people didn't even die,
And the one he has in this one is from the DS version.
Yeah, the vacuum.
Which is cool, with the green light on it.
You played Luigi's Mansion?
Super good.
3DS? Yeah.
Must play. A must play.
A must play. Yeah. A Jeremy Cozier must play. So there's also a new multiplayer mode for the 3DS. Smash Run pits 4 players against each other in a sprawling dungeon full of randomized enemies, including Goombas, Shy Guys, and other notable Nintendo villains.
So that's what those screen caps were.
In a battle to collect stat-boosting power-ups as quickly as possible, treasure chests and enemies can improve your speed, jump, strength, defense, special move effectiveness, and more, which comes into play after the Smash Run timer runs out. After 5 minutes, 2 to 4 players, local or online, go head-to-head in a standard Smash battle using their newly acquired stats. Those who've collected more bonuses improve their chances of winning. Additionally, you can equip items ahead of each Smash Run battle to gain an edge.
This is online?
This will be online. That mode won't be on the Wii U, only for 3DS.
Also, I heard the adventure mode is only on 3DS. Did they say anything about that?
No, they didn't. Nothing I heard about that. I would be more surprised. I feel like maybe the other way around, if anything.
Well, the adventure mode is a side-scrolling thing, right?
Yeah.
So it makes more sense to be on the handheld.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're already giving the 3DS version its own multiplayer mode, would you also give it?
They might have a lot of differences.
So then what's just the Wii U version? Just multiplayer?
No. I don't know, some sort of...
Like
and a couple of challenges, like the home run challenge and like the...
Target smash and stuff.
I don't know, we'll see.
Break the targets! Failure.
I've never heard that one.
No? Failure wasn't one of them? Oh, you never... Oh, you just... Oh, yeah, you never lost.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah. So there was another Nintendo Direct the week before that had all Mario Kart stuff. So Mario Kart 8 had a couple news. It's also 60 frames per second locked, so that's great.
It looks unbelievable.
It looks crazy.
Yeah, it looks like a PS4 game.
Yeah, well, I guess a little. It's hard to compare because the graphic, because like the look of it's just so different.
The textures and everything, like it looks really.
So the sense of speed is back. Apparently, people were complaining that the Wii version felt really slow. It did.
I think so, yeah.
Double Dash was apparently pretty slow as well. So anyway, the speed is back as well. Item customization now is similar to Smash Brothers, not quite as in depth. But now you can play like shell only races and
there's a lot of customization. Except for tracks, you can't make your own tracks.
No tracks, but they said that they wanted to like hold on to the integrity of what they have.
Yeah,
already.
That's fine. I don't want to make a little freaking track.
Some people care about that kind of stuff. I'm not one of them. I'm just not creative.
As long as you can put decals on your cart and like change up the wheels and spoilers and stuff.
The one thing they did say though is that you know how you used to be able to hold like a shell behind you and then get a new item and it would be going like and then, so you can't do that anymore. You can hold a shell behind you, but it doesn't let you pick up a new item at the same time.
That's not I like that at all.
Really?
I like have lots of strategies for Mario Kart.
Yeah, well, this just changes the strategy a little bit. Some people don't like it. I think it keeps the balance fair.
Yeah,
so
it makes it even.
Whatever.
I think what they said. Well, I think part of the reason was that if you weren't like a veteran to Mario Kart, you would have no idea that you could do that. Yeah. So it gives a huge advantage to the people who've been playing for a long time. And you know how Nintendo likes to be.
Always just expanding.
Yeah. So other than that, I think. Listen, I'm excited for Smash Brothers, even though I don't have a Wii U yet. I might just end up buying one on the day it comes out. Who knows? I probably won't buy one for Mario Kart, although because I haven't played Mario Kart since I played one on.
It's pretty fun.
It was on your 3DS. I played a little bit of Mario Kart. That was a lot of fun. Like, what did I say? Like, people said, "Oh, this is the best
game ever." I love Mario Kart. But I bought a Pro controller too, so I'm ready to use that instead of the gamepad.
Nice. Because you're gonna have to get used to that, I guess, for the Smash Brothers as well.
Which is like
it's fine.
No, I don't know.
You're not fine with that.
It's great controller.
How sick would it be if they came out with like a pro controller that was like shaped like a GameCube controller?
I wanted
and had all the buttons
like every generation you could have one.
Yeah,
with multiple buttons.
Yeah. That would be.
But it's just everything's inverted now. Like the sticks are up high.
Yeah, I noticed that only
the buttons are down low, which is no one's ever done that. On a controller, so.
Well, no, they did it with the Xbox ones, the PS3 ones are like that. The sticks are down low.
So
they're in the new ones. They're up high. Up. Oh, okay.
The buttons are down.
Are they like the like?
No, they're
for those listening. I did.
Are they like this and this?
It's like the Xbox where they're like.
They're not inverted.
What's it called?
Crossed, inverted.
Yeah, like a diagonally cross. I guess I don't know how to describe it. Instead of next to each other.
They're like the PS3 and PS4, but the sticks are up high and the buttons are down low, which I don't like. But you'll get used to it.
Yeah, that is weird. Yeah. Either way, I guess you'll be using jump button anyway. I've always been the I don't use the jump button, which is weird. Only when I'm falling off. That's
as long as you admit it's weird.
Well, I guess I don't know. I talk to other people and they say they don't use it sometimes as well.
It's stupid. There's no feel to it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you want to feel the button.
Oh, you press up.
No, but it's not as forceful as pressing something though.
I guess.
You feel like you have less control because you're also using the joystick to like move and do your smash.
Exactly. So how do you know it's exactly doing a jump, right? Yeah. What if you're going forward a bit? So
yeah,
that's why I like jump. Plus the double tap just feels better.
Mm-hmm. So I'll just quickly finish the Nintendo stuff here. So Game Boy Advance games are coming to the Wii U Virtual Console.
Yeah, I bought one the other day.
We talking
about 2
for the Wii U Virtual Console?
Yeah.
Even though you don't have a Wii U?
I had a Wii U. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, you did. That's right. Okay, so Metroid Fusion.
I bought Fusion.
Mario Luigi Superstar Saga.
Yes.
Okay, so also Kirby and the Amazing Mirror is coming.
Yeah,
WarioWare Inc.
You didn't buy Kirby?
No.
F-Zero Maximum Velocity.
I might buy that.
Super Mario Advance 3.
I probably will buy
and
that.
Yoshi Island is now included as well. In April, they're expecting to see Advance Wars.
And the Game Boy Advance is basically a Super Nintendo.
Why is it not on... Okay, this makes no sense to me. Why is it not available for the 3DS Virtual Console?
They are.
Would you want it?
Like Mario Kart and Fusion and some other ones.
Yeah, but like...
For the Ambassador program
that's
when you
it.
first bought it.
But why is it not available for everyone else yet?
I know. And why not, if you buy one, you can play it on both?
Because Nintendo doesn't know how to
I bought
basic
some of the,
things like
I bought
that.
some of the games twice already. Because I wanted them on both.
Well, then...
I bought Punch-Out twice.
Then you're only... Then you're
feeding into it.
Yeah.
Feeding into it, absolutely.
Don't let them win. Okay, so Nintendo for the first time ever won't be at PAX East, which is a show similar to E3, but it's much more geared towards fans. Sony won't be there either, but this marks another shift in Nintendo's divergence from common game industry practices. They did say that getting their games in fans' hands is still important, and there'll be opportunities to do that at other dates. But it's just weird to me. Like you have Smash Brothers coming out. You have Mario Kart.
Hardcore games.
Mario Kart and Smash Brothers. You're not going to show up to a place where hardcore fans are going to be.
Like they're hardcore games, but they're just so about appealing to everybody. But this is a chance where they can do both.
But like what they don't understand is that those hardcore fans evangelize your product.
Yeah.
They are what get those your product in the hands of the people who don't
exactly.
aren't
They're the
exposed
ones
to
who
it.
show it to their friends and make sure other people play it.
But
like
Mario Kart on the Wii wasn't a hardcore thing. It was everyone's buying Mario Kart. This is sweet. Like so, they're hoping that whole brand.
Yeah, because everyone had a Wii.
Yeah, but they're hoping that brand carries over. But
yeah, but no one has a Wii U. That's the problem.
Now they're just thinking that's going to sell the Wii U's. So if it doesn't, then whatever.
If it doesn't, the Wii U's dead in the water, in my opinion. So I'll move into some Sony stuff here. All signs point to The Last of Us coming out to for PS4, both physically and not officially.
Yeah, yes.
What? No.
Yeah.
No. For the you're thinking for PlayStation that downloadable version
now.
PlayStation Now. So yeah. So this is The Last of Us like on a disc, both physically and virtually, sort of to download it.
Sweet.
Probably including the DLC. So we're waiting for confirmation. It's all but been confirmed.
Also, that Iwata guy from Nintendo.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that stuff?
No, what happened? I mean,
he took a huge pay cut a while ago, and apparently the shareholders his futures are in their hands or whatever, so they could vote him out. Any time now.
Nintendo's like the third largest company in
because
Japan,
his predictions were in the pluses or whatever.
Yeah, and
then he had that whole thing where it's like super negative.
Yeah.
By a
so
lot,
he
too.
could be voted out anytime soon. He says he's not going to resign. He's going to wait for something like that to happen if it does.
I guess. I mean, I'm not sure what's better.
But I'm just saying, if that does happen, then there will be major shakeups in the way Nintendo.
You would think so, right?
Nintendo acts.
They've been very much. I mean, they're Japanese, and so they're very traditional.
Yeah.
Just as most Japanese are. But like, I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe like how crazy it would be if you had a Western like a what's his name from Nintendo of America. Reggie. What if you had like a Reggie go over and take over as far as all Nintendo?
Making decisions and
use
your products.
It would be unprecedented as far as Nintendo, but I think it could use something like that at this point.
Or open up a studio in the States where
they're making Western style games.
Yeah, with those characters.
Which I would.
Which is perfect for like Smash Bros. I would say, but.
Yeah, I think the worries that you'd end up getting too much of Western influence there.
Yeah,
and seeing
whereas they have their quirkiness that I don't think Western people could
kind of
emulate.
Yeah.
So.
So more bad news. We've been talking about this for a while now. More departures from Naughty Dog. Uncharted 4's game director Justin Richmond has left the company to join the company behind League of Legends. This one makes for 3 major departures from Sony in the last month, with Jack Tretton, Amy Henning, and now Justin Richmond.
And 2 of them being
from the same project.
Yeah, and as well as Sony Santa Monica having layoffs.
And that one's fun because he's the game director.
So now you have the creative director and the game director both leaving the same project,
which is crazy.
Would like that's. I mean, there's no way to.
There's no way to know why.
There's no way to spin this in any other way than this is bad news. There's no other way. Something going on there that's not That's not good, and it's probably not going to turn out well for the game, unfortunately.
Well, it just get pushed and pushed until.
Oh, we know that we have the guys from The Last of Us still there, and they're proven to be really good at their job. Yeah. If they're taking over for Uncharted,
but they could have their own project as well. So
sure, but at that point, you'd have to assume they'd have some influence on that, right? Because they're now the most senior people there, practically. Either way, this doesn't look good. I mean, maybe it's just all coincidence that all this stuff is happening at the same time. I would be very surprised. Both now, Justin Richmond has only had a small statement. Amy Henning said nothing, which points to the sign that they were probably forced out.
Mm-hmm. I think she said something NDAs. Recently, but she's
that's my next
where is
story.
She working now?
So, on the bright side, Amy Henning just got a new
Star
job.
Wars.
So she's working for Visceral, the guys behind Dead Space, on their new Star Wars game, unannounced.
Jedi Knights.
You don't know that.
I know, but I'm hoping.
Either way, apparently she's a big Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
I think if anything, that's great news for EA. Mm-hmm. I mean, she was probably getting job offers from everywhere. So
it just makes no sense why they're both gone.
I would love.
I wonder if those two
fought.
What's going on. I wonder if those two.
No, because if that was the case, one of them
he's
would
the
solve
game
the problem.
director and she's the
creative
person. So she has her approach on something, a way to do something.
Well,
but
sure.
He's the director. And he doesn't like her vision. Then those two clash.
But
she leaves, and then all of a sudden he has to leave too, kind of thing, right?
Well, why does he have to leave when she's gone? Because that would solve that problem if they were having conflict.
But not with everybody else. Like, why does he get the final say?
Or maybe they had similar vision that clashed with the organizational vision of what they wanted the game to be. Yeah. So, which is, I feel more likely because they both left in short period.
But I remember her philosophy too. Like she was all about the motion cap, everyone being together for the authentic,
which is pretty much everyone does now.
But on Uncharted 3, she stated that like they thought of big set piece events. Mm-hmm. Then the story came after.
Yeah,
which I could see for a game director that wouldn't work. Like, you know what I mean?
I guess, yeah. I mean, but if you have but at that point, Uncharted game design is preset. Like, you know what an Uncharted game is like, right?
Yeah.
So,
I know. But in the creative process, when they're just kind of set pieces or whatever, and it's not fitting the story or it's not going the right way, then the game director and creative director can clash.
It seems to me like there was definitely conflict. There had to be. There's conflict at the studio,
but there's especially if someone's not speaking, right?
Yeah, they probably signed an NDA, which means that they're not allowed to say anything.
It has to do with the product. It has to do with Uncharted 4. Something went wrong.
We literally won't hear about what happened for years.
Yeah.
For years.
And before this company was like literally perfect.
It was there's nothing there. Everyone was happy working there.
Free breakfast every day or whatever.
Making great games, like the best games in like
craziest studios too, like with lounges. And
like super nice, just like the shining like golden star of what Sony.
They didn't have cubicles. They wanted everyone to like see each other. They had set piece designers with like writers over here, so they could talk to each other in the office to influence each other and stuff. Yeah, there's a bunch of specials you can download on the PSN store and like just online.
That was about the making of Uncharted 3.
Yeah, just of every one of their games. Like there's always a making of their process, and now all of a sudden something in that process went horribly wrong.
Yeah,
and
something's gone horribly wrong.
And two of the major players who probably would have like retired at Naughty Dog, been there forever, especially Amy, because she's already.
You see, like she was there forever and like well respected, obviously in the industry. So I mean, it's great that she's landed on her feet somewhere.
And she perfected like a certain aspect of game making with the motion capture and the storytelling, and now she's not even there anymore. Like.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just a case of Naughty Dog wanting to go in a different direction. I mean, you have. Uncharted, Last of Us being such a crazy big hit, completely different in tone from anything Uncharted has done. That's all about Amy Henning's. That's all Amy Henning, right? That whole tone, that lighthearted, that completely. Maybe they want to go in that direction. Maybe even with Uncharted, she doesn't agree with it. She's out. Maybe she in some. Maybe what's his name? What's his name now? Jack. No, Jack Trenton. Justin Richmond. Maybe he. Act of solidarity, left later as like, you know what, I'm gonna stick with my original vision that I had with Amy.
Oh well, there's too many possibilities.
And yes, like I said, we're not gonna hear for years. So I'll go through this the rest of this stuff very quick. So did you know the Xbox has a clause in their digital release contract that says that any game that is released on their platform digitally at a minimum, has to launch at the exact same day on competing platforms. So, meaning if any game comes out on PSN first, Xbox won't even allow it to be released.
They had a bunch of clauses like that.
Yeah, so it seems anti-competitive to me.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
weird.
Well, that's why like the PSN and the PS3 had all those indie games or whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas an Xbox,
Well, it really opens the door for them. They could just
there was a ton of loops they had to go through to get on Xbox Live.
They said they were trying to like loosen the knot as far as getting onto Xbox Arcade.
Yeah. But this seems like it's tightening.
Yeah, so essentially what they're doing is they've offered these really lucrative deals to some indie developers to make games for Xbox.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they have to sign these contracts that say you can't release it even on earlier.
And then everyone will just flock to Sony's PSN and put all their, which is already super esteemed because of
last gen.
Yeah, because of games like Flower and Flow and Journey and stuff like that, right?
Flow I think is on PS4. It's on sale, I think, on PlayStation.
It's probably like $2 in there.
I really want to play that. There's some of the best games, arguably, are out.
The sales right now are
like
ridiculous.
Are some of those indie games. So,
yeah.
I mean, I'll say the first I need to play more of them.
Yeah.
Xbox Live is implementing a reputation system. Bad behavior like griefing or foul language will generate warnings. If enough negative feedback is received, your rating will drop too low. You will be paired with others with similar ratings only.
Oh god!
As well as lose the ability to broadcast on Twitch. So the first warnings start this month. That seems like a great idea.
It seems fair. It's just gonna create like a little hellhole.
Yeah,
like the worst of the worst, just yelling and screaming at each other.
Then they'll get a taste of why they suck so much, like why people hate you.
Yeah.
I would love to see something like that.
Does it also punish like rage quitters, like people that exit in the middle of a match?
A lot of games do that on its own. Like
that's just reputation too.
A lot of like for instance, I play with NHL. There are a lot of do not finish, the DNFs. Like you have a DNF percentage. If your DNF percentage is too low, you'll be paired with other people with really high, who also quit really early. I'm assuming Mortal Kombat tries to do something similar, or no?
Mortal Kombat and Injustice, they have a thing that says if you've disconnected, but that can happen if you just lose the connection, which is pretty common in these games. So it doesn't really say it, and it still happens all the time. I picked it up the other day, and people were bitches.
So anyway, I would love to see something like that on a Sony platform, obviously the PlayStation 4. Mm-hmm. They did a closed survey with some people, asking different questions. One of them was, would you like to see a reputation system? So I think it's likely we'll see one.
In favor of that?
Probably won't be for a while. So I'll just go through this casting news, like I said, I had from earlier. Toby Kebbell from Wrath of the Titans will play Doctor Doom in the Fantastic Four reboot. Corey Michael Smith will play Edward Nygma in Gotham. He's done some Broadway stuff, but has a small role in an upcoming HBO miniseries. Holly Hunter from what's her name from Incredibles? She's the stretchy woman. Elastigirl. Teo Okamido. She's the one who played the princess from Wolverine.
Okay.
And Callan Mulvey from 300 Rise of an Empire has joined Batman vs. Superman. No word on what they'll be playing. They all have experience in superhero movies.
Yeah.
Judy Greer has been cast in Jurassic World. Chris Pratt is still attached to as the lead. Jason Bateman will narrate the Lego documentary called Beyond the Brick. Sinister Six has a director. I guess it doesn't technically count as casting, but similar idea. Drew Goddard from Cabin in the Woods. He'll also be writing it. Matt Gerald, who plays prison inmate, quote, White Power Dave, unquote, in the Marvel one-shot about the Mandarin, which just came out recently, has been cast in Ant-Man as an unspecified villain role. Probably as White Power Dave.
Yeah, I know, probably.
Looks like Will Arnett will be back as Batman in Lego Movie 2. And speaking of Will Arnett, we'll talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in a second. He's in that. And then these ones, just a couple more quick stories. I'm just running out of time here. So this one I wanted to get into last time, so I promised I'd get to it. So the whole 0.15% of mobile players account for 50% of in-game revenues in mobile gaming. Freemium models are the biggest offenders of this. Most players contribute no revenue at all. Research was done by Swerve, SWRVE, which is a mobile analytics firm. the biggest thing that they talk about is the whales. They're the ones who spend all the money.
I feel like we did talk about this.
Yes, we only got into it a little bit. I wanted to get into it a little bit more.
I got into it a lot. Okay.
So, the question I think it raises is that are they designing games specifically to be addictive in nature? I think to some degree. I think some, at least for sure, mobile games are. Is the ethical question is that right? I mean, or is it? I mean, it's hard to say.
Well,
right?
no, you want people to play your game, but like, I don't know if it's entirely unethical. Maybe a little bit. If they've done the research and now they're aware of what it does to certain people.
But are games inherently addictive in some form anyway?
Yeah.
So I mean, that would be I guess the counter argument.
It's the combination of it being addictive and offering, like you said, the freemium or the little upgrades that are just a click away. That it's too addictive for certain people to.
So yeah, you have these whales who are obviously more susceptible to this type of game design. Why aren't other gamers more susceptible? Are they just more susceptible to addiction in general?
Potentially, I don't know. I don't really know the answer to that.
These are questions that only seeing this raises for me.
Yeah.
So
it's interesting.
I don't play a lot of games on my phone because I get turned off by that. That
I play a couple, but it's easy enough to ignore them though. Like I've spent money on like the 99 cents here and there.
My problem is that it feels like it's so ingrained in how the game's supposed to work that I can't enjoy it unless I bought something or unless you buy something you're not gonna have as much fun.
My whole like the way I look at it for these games is that they're supposed to be played intermittently. You're not supposed to play them religiously.
Well, some
they're supposed to be played in your spare time when you have you're sitting at a bus stop or something like that.
Well, some are. Infinity Blade is supposed to maybe stuff like that. Those are just
I'm just saying for me it's something that you just have to be patient, right? You can pick it up. You can wait the 24 hours for your blah 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 to recharge, or you can pay extra money to just do it.
Not all people are patient.
Well, then that's the problem, and it's not my problem.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not saying it is.
No, I know. then that's these people. It's their own fault that they're spending this much money on it.
Yeah, I mean, is that sustainable? I guess. I mean, if only 0.15% of all your audience needs to spend money for you to make your game profitable, then I guess it's sustainable because it can only go up, right? Like
exactly. You know,
it's hard to go down from
2% would look like.
Yeah. Anyway, this is something I'm just gonna keep an eye on as far as personally because I'm like I said, it raises questions for me. So the Telltale game, they're the ones who make the Walking Dead games. The Game of Thrones game that they're making will run concurrently with the timeline laid out in the show, saying that quote, "There's so much going on and it's so rich. Every decision that King Joffrey makes impacts so many people. Any microcosm in that world, looking at how people are affected by the decisions that are made plays out across the whole thing." So
makes sense.
It'll be interesting. I guess you're playing in away from where the show is taking place. So what does that mean? Are you going to be encountering maybe like I said, we talked about this on quick plug our Game of Thrones podcast. Game of Thrones: A Tower of Babble breakdown. Game of Season 4 Episode 1 just premiered this last week. Go check it out. For those of you that are listening to this episode because you listened to that episode, thanks for coming over. And anyway, so I was saying that are you going to be maybe seeing Encounter the Mountain at some point?
Probably. If you're fighting in the Riverlands, that's where he was during that time.
So that I think that opens up a lot of
the Mountains armies. You'd probably be heavily with the Brotherhood. Yeah. I would assume.
Yeah, that'd be pretty much an easy one. Yeah. We don't know very much about this game still. It's still really early as far as development. It's expected out for next-gen consoles. But they
gave us an idea of when it takes place because they said King Joffrey, right? So
yeah. Well, they said it takes place during the timeline set out in the show.
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jeremy, get you wake up a little bit. Explains how he comes back as a wrinkly old robot for Terminator Genesis. That's what I wrote. By the way, that's funny.
Can't say that.
The way that the character is written, quote. This is what the way that the character is written. It's a machine underneath, unquote. Schwarzenegger explains, it's this metal skeleton, but above that is a human flesh, and the Terminator flesh ages just like any other human being's flesh. Maybe not as fast, but it definitely ages. So expect to see a younger version of the T-800 at some point as well in the Terminator Genesis, because it's going to be jumping around time, apparently. I know you're excited, Jeremy. Terminator's one of your favorite film franchises, right?
Yep.
Yeah?
Of course.
Ridley Scott is attached to produce a Halo digital feature for the Xbox Live. Probably as well for Machinima, kind of like they did before. This is different than the Spielberg thing that we talked about before.
Jesus.
So it looks like we're finally going to get some good stuff going here. Scarface is getting a remake again for I guess the third time, and Chilean director Pablo Larraín has been tapped. I believe it's pronounced Larraín. Although I can't say that other director's name. Guillermo del Toro. It'll be set in modern-day Los Angeles and feature a Mexican immigrant. They want to find an authentic Latino to play the lead and are willing to cast an unknown. Oculus Rift was sold to Facebook for $2 billion, $400 million in cash, and $23.1 million in Facebook stock.
It's probably a wire transfer, but...
Yeah, but I mean, it's still technically called cash.
Yeah.
So this gives them more resources. Facebook said they won't rebrand it. Believe it to be the platform of the future, Zuckerberg said. So, which I totally agree with.
Yeah, absolutely the platform of the future.
How does that shit work though? Like the guys that invented it just like
they're going to work for Facebook.
Oh, okay. So they're not
leaving. Yeah, no. So they're going to continue working for it, but they're now millionaires.
Sounds lots more money.
Yeah, it's all been upfronted to them now. So
yeah.
They can.
It was originally funded by Kickstarter, which is interesting. Yeah. So they got all their money from random people, and they sold that company, made lots of money. Yeah. Which I guess people say like that's kind of bullshit, but like it said up front that you're not an equity investor.
Yeah. So. But all those people got rigs, though, I think. Right?
Yes, they got the $200 got you a developer kit.
Yeah. So you got something for your money. So whatever.
Exactly. They can't shut up for those people. Michael Abrash joins Oculus as, get this, chief scientist. Wow. I didn't even know that was a real role.
Did you get a job at Oculus if you're a
chief? Yeah, you could be a chief scientist.
You guys want me to be a scientist. So
physics as well, though. You need physics in that.
Of course.
Yes. Shut up about physics so much.
Because they're mapping the real world with that.
Exactly.
I know.
He also believes that VR is the final platform, which is
What else?
Transcendence.
What else would be final?
What?
Transcendence.
Is that a movie? Is that a movie?
It is a movie coming out, and that's I'm pumped for that movie.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one.
Who's in that?
Johnny Depp and what's that chick's name? I don't remember.
Doesn't matter. Rachel.
Is it about whatever you're talking about?
Rachel.
Is it about what you're talking about?
Yeah, it's about about the human beings melding with the computers, downloading your consciousness into a computer.
The singularity.
Like what's his name from Avengers 2?
Exactly like Zola. Yeah.
But not onto really old computers.
Yeah, that was like a dumbed down version because that happened so long ago. But now with technology the way it is,
well, also made up.
One thing that sums it up. There's a clip. They're like asking where Johnny Depp is after the whole transcendence thing, and he says everywhere.
Whoa, mind blown.
Like watch a fucking trailer for that. You'll like it.
Daniel, I watch all the trailers.
It's a sci-fi movie,
but I haven't seen the trailer for Transcendence somehow. I always like when there's like a sci-fi movie that I'm not expecting that comes out that's really great.
That's what it was. I saw this preview for it.
Looper. Daniel hasn't seen it yet. Go see Looper.
You gotta see Looper. I should have brought it to you.
It's Glend. Anyway, there seems to be a lot of momentum for Oculus, especially with the whole Sony Morpheus project. It was
Morpheus. It rhymes with Oculus, kind of.
Because it ends with us.
Yeah. Morpheus, Oculus, it's very
if you're rapping it, you could, yes, I guess, whatever.
I would say it's not.
But anyway, so VR seems to be going somewhere, so very early on.
Okay, moving on.
HBO is submitting True Detective for Best Drama Series rather than Best Miniseries.
Duh.
This means it's going up against American Horror Story, and instead of going up against American Horror Story, it will
go up against like
House of Cards and the final half season of Breaking Bad. Matthew McConaughey is obviously probably a lock for Best Actor, even going up against Kevin Spacey and Bryan Cranston. Although Bryan Cranston won last year, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so and these are Emmys for the television.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think it still wins over House of Cards? Still wins over.
Yeah. Kevin Spacey
Breaking Bad?
Something. Yeah, but
House of Cards is still going on. He'll get something.
I think there are stronger seasons for Bryan Cranston's character in Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Whereas this is like a one-off, which I guess you
but like they did with.
But that character, like I honestly I didn't even see Matthew McConaughey after the first like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was just that guy.
That was like this
embodied
is Russ Cole. Like I was like, holy fuck.
Which by the way, we never did, and never really talked about in depth. True Detective. I'd like to do that with you. Not really.
Well,
not on the show.
Me and Daniel did.
Okay, well, great. You didn't record it, so no one else can listen to it.
No, we did it a little bit on the podcast.
Barely though. We barely. I hadn't
sat there and listened while we talked about it.
Yeah, but I hadn't. I had only watched 1 or 2 episodes at that point, if any, and so I'd like
later date.
Like I said, I wanted. Yeah, I want to sit down and talk about that.
I have to rewatch some of it then.
But me and Dan also finished Walking Dead, which you don't watch too. So.
Yes, which talk about it. I don't give a crap.
No, whatever.
No, you guys didn't like it.
No, I liked it a lot.
I was falling out of that show. I had lost interest, but then the last I think like 4 episodes or so, it got real good real quick.
Yeah,
and
I was falling out, and then I saw episode 15. Like everyone kept talking about it, whatever. Which was like I think the big standoff with the governor or whatever.
Yeah.
And
okay.
15 or 16 was the last one. 15 or 14 was that one or whatever.
Okay.
And then I was like, okay, I gotta get back in the show, so I just watched every episode like in a week or 2, and it was worth it. Definitely gets stronger.
Okay.
So very like
still don't want to watch
crazy twists with the little kids.
Twists, a lot of gruesome stuff.
I don't care about spoilers, but
yeah, no, we don't. I think that we should probably address that earlier on in the podcast.
No, if you listen to this podcast, you know what it's about. Like
by now, well, maybe you don't. There could be new people.
I guess we didn't really say ahead of time we were going to be talking about this, so
whatever.
Fuck it.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, again, we talked about earlier. From now on, if you continue listening to the show, we talk about spoilers. It's just we're not going to beat around the bush.
It's not really fair though, because someone could have seen Cap 2 and not watched it.
Yeah, I agree, but it's a little late.
Yeah, well.
I guess I could put it at the beginning.
It's fine.
I'll put it at the beginning. It's not a big deal.
We're not going to be on people's hit lists for.
That's true too.
So
for what? For hit list? Yeah, no, I guess that's true. So the last 3 things: Battlefield 4 Naval Strike is out. I played it. I liked it. Done. I platinum Infamous Second Son.
The easiest platinum.
Not the easiest platinum.
Yep.
Green Lantern is probably easier.
No, that one I had to play like 3 times.
You have to play Infamous twice.
Yeah, that's if you play a game twice, then it's an easy platinum. Yes, don't lie. Everyone says in the internet.
You can say that about any other Uncharted games. You play a game twice.
No, you have to play more than twice.
No, you have to beat it once on hard and then once on hardcore.
Yeah, but then you have to go through and you have to find everything and.
But if you did that on the second playthrough,
see the thing is the first playthrough you definitely don't find everything. You're not even trying to find every little thing as much.
I did with Infamous though.
Yeah, I don't give.
Either way, don't try to argue like it's a hard platinum.
I'm not trying to say it is. It's just not saying it's easy.
It's an easy platinum.
Whatever. It's a platinum's a platinum.
Okay, you have how many do you have? 2?
I have 3 now.
You have?
I don't care.
I have 8.
Okay, so I'm not actually that far behind you.
Yeah, you are. You have to platinum 5 more games. 5 full games of platinum. You have 4.
4? Yeah, 4.
On what?
Both Batman games, but not Arkham Origins.
That's pretty impressive.
Those ones are hard platinums.
Yeah.
And I can't do Origins now because the multiplayer is gone. But and then I have Mass Effect 2.
You should have thought about that.
I don't have Mass Effect 3 yet.
I
do. No, I have 5 then, because I have Mass Effect 2 and 3, I think. And then I also have God of War 3.
Okay. Sweet. Those are all good. Those are all good platinums, yeah.
Yep. Mass Effect's pretty tough too, actually.
Mass Effect you have to play at least like twice.
Twice, but like really hard.
It's a 35-hour game to play twice.
And also that difficulty on the
Insanity
is really hard. It's called Insanity.
Yeah.
So TMNT, Michael Bay's produced. That's like a reverse one this time.
So you don't like the trailer?
It's exactly what I thought it would be, but
no, it's not.
I was expecting giant 6-foot turtles.
Yeah, it's Teenage Mutant. What were you expecting?
Not 6 feet.
They weren't
3 feet? What?
No, regular human size.
They were not huge before.
6 foot is a normal issue.
Okay, no, like 7. Okay, there's more like 7 feet.
Man, they're fucking massive now.
They look cool. They look cool.
So how would be the sound effect?
Yeah, these turtles look cool. Like, no.
I don't care. Do
you care about turtles at all?
I don't care about it because it's Michael Bay primarily.
He didn't direct it. It's only produced by him.
Although it does look like it had a lot of influence.
You know, I originally thought he directed it. But.
It has the place Transformers sounds, like in the trailer.
Were you ever an Intros fan?
I was when I was a kid, yeah.
So
I haven't really.
You just got a good glimpse of Michelangelo. Like, that's pretty sick. Like, his character came through.
A little bit.
Leo's got his swords going.
Yes. They got that right.
You'd hope they get at least that.
And also, they're turtles, so they got that right.
So what do they get wrong? I don't get it.
I don't know. Not really much. I'm just not interested in it.
I don't know.
It's a teaser trailer.
Yeah, I'm still a little...
Okay, we'll see what happens.
I like Ninja Turtles. Surprise. I've talked about the Nickelodeon show for a while. It's great. Yes. I'd rather just see a movie of that.
You're
but
too
whatever.
judgeful right from the beginning.
I am.
That's what
super cynical. Like, he's like, oh, Michael Bay. I'm not even going to bother.
They're turtles. They're ninjas. Like, you can't say that about
say that.
Daniel, heroes are not born. They're created. All right? That is gold. That is film gold. No, I'm kidding. That's not. But, like...
We're going to get real, like, sweet...
There's going to be sweet action scenes. That's all you have to know about Ninja Turtles.
Didn't get it before. Well, there was that animated 3D movie.
That was a while ago, right? Is that 3D?
Yeah.
A lot of people, like, that was one of the early ones, and people said they got sick.
But it's like with, I think people got used to 3D like now. With the old Ninja Turtles movies. It's like the old Star Wars
trilogy,
it's like
all
right?
slow fighting.
You couldn't really get the sweet-ass fighting and action scenes. Now we're going to get that.
Yeah, like... Leo did like a backflip. They throw him into a truck. Like Raph gets thrown into a truck.
And their personalities are coming through. I saw a leaked image of the poster and the action figures.
Yeah.
And like Donatello's got like glasses and gear all over his thing, and then
you kind of see
Michelangelo's got like beads and like cool like kind of like his hipster.
Yeah, Mikey's got like those like little shell. He's got like a shell necklace on.
And Raphael has like more of a do-rag type thing with sunglasses. I think he wears.
I don't know if he did.
Well, the action.
Yeah, the one clip we see of Raph is him upside down hitting that truck. Yeah. It's a pretty clear shot, but he's got the most basic of like the classic look with just the red and like. And
then Leo's got like the kind of like samurai armor with the bamboo one. Like I think they're doing a really good job with bringing the characters through. You couldn't really tell in that teaser.
No, you couldn't.
But I did a little research on it, so that's why I know. And
listen, give it a chance.
I'm not.
I mean, you like Ninja Turtles when you're younger. Like, give it a shot. But they did just start doing reshoots. A lot of people like to see reshoots as like, oh, that doesn't.
Yeah, but lots of movies these days do reshoots because the CG is so complicated.
World War Z did massive reshoots, and that movie came out pretty well. Yeah. I'd say
it's a decent movie.
Yeah, it was well received as well. I mean, who knows? That movie could have been a disaster before they did that.
Nothing like the book, but it's still a decent movie on its own.
The book says every book reader ever.
Journals.
What is the point of calling it that if it's a completely different thing?
Adaptation, Daniel.
It's not an adaptation. It's not at all an adaptation. It's a completely different movie.
It's an adaptation.
The zombie movie. Don't call it World War Z if it's not the same story.
No, because the way the zombie outbreak is the same, right?
Hardly.
Well,
they use a couple of the same locations.
Yeah, but you don't know it because the book is about journals of people surviving the apocalypse or whatever, right? So
it would have been a great TV show.
You can't, TV show, but movie you can't have like, scene one, this guy writing down his journal and talking about what's going on.
I know it doesn't work for a movie. It's all written in retrospect.
They use that same world with the outbreak that happened, how it happened with the sickness, and they don't attach to sick people and stuff. They just took that and ran away with it.
Listen, if I ever have to hear it's not as good, if I have to hear it's not as good as the book one more time in my life.
That's what I said.
It's not what I said.
It's completely different than the book, and what I'm saying is, why use that as source material if you're not going to use the source material? You're just using the name. That's garbage.
Yeah. That's name recognition. Who cares? They could still make it. They could still make a World War Z show if they wanted. The name still exists.
Yeah.
But no, now it has been kind of taken. They can use it, and then people are going to be like, "Oh, it's not like the movie."
Oh yeah, where's Brad Pitt? I guess. But like, no, it's not going to be.
It's going to be completely different. What's the point of calling it World War Z?
Because it has name recognition, Daniel. It's still business.
Yeah, but that has
movies and books are different, so
the books are different.
Everyone always compares both. Like one
you have to because that's the source material. Why would you not compare it?
Because it's a different medium.
Then why? We're never going to end this
argument. Why what?
Of course, it's a different medium, but then why you can make a zombie movie without calling it World War Z?
I'm saying no one can say one's better than the other. That's all I'm saying.
I wasn't even talking about being better or worse. It's completely. It's a different. It's a different story.
Yeah, but with Game of Thrones, you said the books are better than the show.
With what?
Game of Thrones, you said the books are better than the show.
Well, of course, just because the books give you more context. The books give you more history, more lore.
But it's a different medium. Different. You can't get inside a character's head in the same way you can in a book.
TV show, you can
exactly. That's why the books are better. That's what I'm saying.
TV show is more visceral. You could get more emotion from it too. You could say
potentially, yeah.
So then there's no. You can't say.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, for me, the books are better because it gives me so much more. And people having not read the book say the TV show is better for whatever reason.
They could say because it gives them more.
I am so entertained right now. Actually, I just derailed it. I shouldn't have said anything. I'll just do one more thing on Ninja Turtles, Johnny Knoxville has been cast to play Leonardo as the voice.
That makes zero sense, man.
You fucking shitting me?
Yeah.
After all that, what you guys are be excited about this bullshit?
Whatever.
And then some fucking clown playing Leonardo.
See, now you're being even more judgeful because Johnny Knoxville is an actor. Okay.
In the loosest sense of the.
You could have said anything but actor.
He doesn't have to. He's not playing himself, Johnny Knoxville, right? He has a raspy voice. He's gonna bring that kind of like tone. Like it's not as hardcore as Raphael, but from the trailer you could tell like Leo, like he wasn't goofy like Michelangelo. Yeah. So I don't know. I can see it.
They got Mike's voice down, right? Mikey's seems
to have a good voice. That's great.
Yeah. So yeah, all right. They also have Tony Shalhoub, who's from Monk and Men in Black. He's doing play Master Splinter. So. So there's that.
No, it's not him playing him. It's that midget guy.
What are you talking about? Master Splinter, the giant fucking rat. What do you think I'm talking about?
No. Look it up again.
No, I don't have to.
No, because you know that midget that's in the Watchmen? He's in the jail cell over there?
Yeah.
I thought he was being cast as the rat.
Dan, can you look this up super quick? Just IMDb it.
That's so funny.
Well,
no, I heard about Tony Shalhoub, but I just didn't think he was Splinter. Who would because I thought maybe they'd make Splinter not giant anymore, make him like
an
midget.
actual, a smaller version of it?
Yeah, like a Yoda.
No, I think you have to go with
No,
go with the regular giant person rat.
That's
you can have a giant turtle, but you can't have a giant rat?
Yes.
No! Why not? I mean, the turtles literally have teeth like human beings. Why can't you have a giant rat?
Because I feel like the rat should be more like Yoda.
No, because then that's just it's a blatant ripoff of Yoda when you do it that way. Yes, because the character's already very much like Yoda. No. All right, whatever. Either way, the movie's due out August 8th, so this summer. Other than that, well, Dan's looking this up super quick.
He doesn't know how to look up anything.
You don't know anything about looking things up, Dan. I'll direct you guys to the website.
They just released posters, too.
www.towerbabble.com. TowerBabblePodcast.com.
Yeah, I was right.
What? Who's Tony Shalhoub playing then?
This guy is Splinter. He's using a midget. He's going to be smaller.
A mini-me.
Unless it's just a
mini-me.
voice.
It's not mini-me.
It's not mini-me. You're the stupidest person ever.
Thanks. Anyway, this is the website. TowerBabblePodcast.com. That's BABBLE. Also, make sure to rate us and subscribe on iTunes and Stitcher.
Wait a second here.
What?
It says they're both Splinter. So maybe one is...
They get a smaller version, or like...
No, maybe one is some sort of mini-me.
No, maybe... Two Splinters? Like, what an idiot. Get over the mini-me.
God damn it, I'm excited for this movie.
No, Tony Shalhoub's probably the voice.
Yeah.
And the midget is probably the mocap person or some shit.
Why? That makes no sense.
Why would you get a midget to mocap?
That makes more sense.
Because it's not a giant rat, it's just a midget human-sized
rat.
Look,
you have all these big guys mocapping for the turtles, but they're not voicing the turtles.
Yeah, no. Knoxville's voicing. That's what he's doing.
He's not mocapping the turtles.
Yeah, no, most that's
I'm saying the midget is mocapping the rat.
Okay.
And Shalhoub is voicing the rat.
Okay. And that's okay. Why don't anyway. Twitter @TowerBabblecast. Check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/TowerBabblecast, on YouTube. And like I said before, make sure to check out our other podcast, the Tower of Babble Game of Thrones
What
Breakdown.
about our friends at...
I haven't talked to them in a while.
Okay.
Other than that, we'll see you guys again in 2 weeks. Yeah, we'll see you guys later.